All right. Here I am in the back of the room. We have Mark Blakeman here today, who's the executive director of the McKnight Center for the Performing Arts. And when he was hired 3 years ago or whenever it was, I was really impressed with the caliber of the individual we were getting and his experiences and his depth of knowledge. And when he talks later, yeah, I feel good. And when he talks to you about the upcoming season, you're going to see why he's the right guy for this job. And there's been a lot of talk about a couple of the events, and I'll leave those to him. The one I've not heard much about that I'm really impressed with is Itzhak Perlman's coming. What an incredible program that's going to be. So anyway, Mark, take it away. You have 35 minutes.
Scott wants me to go for 5. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much. Kevin, I appreciate the invitation very much. I'm Mark Blakeman. I'm the executive director at the McKnight Center. I started in April of 2017. So was here during all the construction of the center. Facility, let me see if I can make this work. This is our first concert. October 2019, we did a residency with the New York Philharmonic. We had wonderful momentum going in our inaugural season until March of last year, of course. This is what we're working to get back to. And putting next season together was particularly challenging. So many businesses have been affected by the pandemic, but any business that is centered around public gathering has been particularly hit hard. And the entertainment and arts industry is so relationship oriented, and you want to pick up the phone and talk to a booking agent about a particular artist, and that person's no longer there. They're not answering the phone. The agency's gone bankrupt, or it's been bought out by another company. And so putting this season together has been the most difficult that I've experienced in my 20 years, but I'm really proud of the work that we've done. And with the board, we have an incredible board of trustees. They encouraged me to think big and to seize opportunities. And if you know a little bit about how our organization is structured, we have some unique circumstances that allow our business model to be a little bit different. We have a programming endowment, which the McKnight family started, and it protects us, it insulates us in a lot of ways. And so they said, think big. And what we want to do is we want to recapture everyone's attention for what we're doing at the McKnight Center. We got Tim McGraw to kick it off. And in October 8, 9, and 10, we start with a trio of concerts, and he has sold 80 million records, 44 #1 hits, and he's the most played country artist since he debuted on the radio in 1992. And what's really special about this particular engagement is to 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 people at a time. And we have him coming to the McKnight Center to play for 1,000 people. That's what's really special about it, is the opportunity to see him in a very unique setting. Found out the rest of our weekend, Tim McGraw plays Friday, October 8th. On Saturday, the 9th, Itzhak Perlman, a truly iconic figure in the classical music world, will be giving a recital at the McKnight Center. And then on Sunday afternoon, we have Brian Stokes Mitchell and Megan Hilty doing a Broadway tunes, Broadway songbook program. And she's famous for her work in Wicked, and she's also been on the NBC television show called Smash. You know, every season, of course, has classical music as a centerpiece. I already mentioned Itzhak Perlman. We also do an annual chamber music festival. Some of you I know have attended. We started this 2 years before the center even opened. So this will be our 4th annual chamber music festival. We have an artistic director whose name is Anne Marie McDermott, and she's based out of New York. And is the artistic director for a number of different festivals around the country. She brings different artists to Stillwater each year, not only to perform, but also to teach. And that's a regular part of the work that we do at the McKnight Center. When we invite artists to perform at the center, we ask them to engage with the students on campus to create students. And some of these artists also work with us in providing learning experiences and performance opportunities for students through Stillwater Public Schools. So Paul Neubauer, who's a violist from New York, will be attending. Susanna Phillips, who's a soprano from the Metropolitan Opera, will be returning. She sang in our first festival. And then kind of as the core of the Chamber Music Festival, we have the Escher String Quartet. One of the things that we do at the Chamber Music Festival that's a lot of fun and it's very different is our onstage soiree. And this is a reception, concert, and a dinner all wrapped into one. And this photo, you can see all of our attendees are actually sitting on stage with the performers. And so after the performance is over, our visiting artists sit with our guests as part of as the meal's being served. And it's just a really unique and very personal way to engage with visiting artists, and also to have this kind of unique experience of doing a concert from the stage perspective. We have Sarah Coburn. We had engaged Sarah in our first season, and then because of the pandemic, her performance didn't happen, but she not only is performing, but she's part of a residency. So she'll be teaching all week long, master classes, coaching sessions. She's going to do a special lecture topic on what it means to be a professional performer. These are all opportunities for students on campus. And then she'll do one performance for us at the end of her residency week. And we have the Philadelphia Orchestra, considered to be one of the best orchestras in the United States. They'll be doing a tour, a national tour next spring. And so they'll make a tour stop in Stillwater and do a performance for us. They've got a great program put together. Their concertmaster will be performing a violin concerto. We've got a great symphonic piece on the program, and it's really a spectacular orchestra. It'll be the only orchestra that we will have in the season that we have coming up. On Valentine's Day, we have the incredible Bernadette Peters coming, very iconic figure, well known not only for Broadway, but she's done a lot of television, and she's done a number of movies as well. And we're really excited to have her on February 14th. I think it's going to be a really special occasion. And I don't know, do we have audio? Will this play audio, Kevin? I can't remember. Okay. Well, she recorded a special message, which you won't hear today. That's her. Oh, you can kind of hear that.
Coming to the McKnight Center, where special Valentine's Day concert.
Okay. Well, that kind of worked. Also, these are musical selections not in the classical genre, obviously. We have an incredible, I'm a trumpet player, recovering trumpet player, and we have a great funk band called Tower of Power. They started performing in the late 60s. They've just released a new album to celebrate 50 years, and they're absolutely phenomenal, and it'll totally bring the house down. It'll be a lot of fun. And there's a video attached to this too. Whoop, let me go back one. We've got a dance company coming in from New York called Palabolis, hugely innovative group. They incorporate dance with really inventive and creative costumes and props. And it is some of the most inventive use of the human body that I have ever seen. It's a bit of a, it's quite a spectacle, but it's kind of hard to understand what you're seeing at times. It's really fascinating. And I think everybody's really going to like it, but it is very difficult to actually describe. But it's a phenomenal company, and they're doing their 50th anniversary tour, and we're really excited to have them. They'll be the first dance company that we'll be able to bring in at the McKnight Center. We've got a great lineup of Broadway shows. Several of them are shows that were scheduled to be at the center previously, and we've been able to reschedule them. Buddy Holly Story is probably the one that we had scheduled that was the most popular. And each of the Broadway shows has 2 dates. So we've got twice as many seats, twice as much inventory. And there's a separate subscription series, which I'll talk a little bit about at the end, but there's a separate Broadway series. So if you're just interested in that, you can buy a subscription for that. What's really unique about the Buddy Holly Story is that they are also doing a residency at the McKnight Center. And this is a collaboration between us and the producers of this show. They will tech and rehearse their entire production, and they will launch their national tour from Stillwater. So they'll be at the center all week long, and they are working with us to create opportunities for OSU theater and music students to be able to work beside them. We'll be hiring students to do crewing. So they'll be working backstage and front of house. And it's just a great opportunity. And we're really excited about it, because I think that it speaks to our desire to be really creative with these artists as they come to town, and to create this type of collaboration is really a win-win. And we think it's a great opportunity for students. So I think it's in my slide here. Yeah, this is part of our fundraising campaign. If you want to do, we call it a side-by-side sponsorship, but we're looking for 30 people or households to do $2,500 gifts to help create these student opportunities. That helps underwrite what it is that we're doing with the Buddy Holly Story. If you're interested in that, or you want to know more about it, I'd be happy to visit with you. We've got Stomp coming back. They were in our lineup previously. This is a huge, hit on Broadway, been touring for a couple of decades now. Lots and lots of fun. If you're not familiar with it, it's kind of a dance show. It's kind of a percussion show, but they use unconventional items as their percussion instruments, like brooms and oil drums and trash cans and all kinds of things like that. And I have a video attached to this one as well. Next spring, we've got South Pacific coming back. Great Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Many of you will know this. Bali High is one of the famous songs from this production. So we're really happy to have that back in our lineup. This December, we have a new show. It's the $1 Million Quartet, which is, oh golly, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Elvis. And it's a holiday show. So there are great holiday tunes, each sung in the style of each of these 4 legends. And it should be a lot of fun. $1 Million Quartet's a very well-known production that's been touring for a long time. A lot of success on Broadway. This is just a new version that is a Christmas version. Also at Christmas, we're doing a film. This is the full-length animated movie, The Polar Express. What's special about this is that the Tulsa Symphony will be performing on stage, and they will play the soundtrack to this movie live. They use time code, and the conductor stands there with a small video monitor and a SMPTE, call it SMPTE time code, and the conductor is conducting to the film and the orchestra is playing the music. And it's really magical to think that, when can you ever get 80 people to do something, with absolute precision? Now they're going to do it with a movie. And the Tulsa Symphony has done a lot of these films. They've been doing Harry Potter films and they've done Star Wars and things. So they have lots of experience doing this. It's just a different kind of, concert experience to be able to know that there are musicians making all this great music while you're watching the film. And of course, it's a great holiday film. So we think it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. Couple more things here. We, in our inaugural season, we brought in a silent film, and the film was The Phantom of the Opera, early 20th century silent film. And we brought in an organist, a guy that plays pipe organ from Boston, who I'd worked with previously. And he improvises the music to the silent film. And after it was over, some of my board members were like, we thought this was going to be so boring. And the audience loved it. People went nuts. The organist is such a showman. He never does the same thing twice. He feeds off of the audience, kind of gets the energy from the audience and tries to change things up. He's hugely inventive and a lot of fun. And we just worked with him last weekend when we did our season announcement. He was in town. And we presented the movie The Kid, Charlie Chaplin's film, and he played the music to that. So he'll be coming back this October. The film is Nosferatu. I call it the creepiest movie I've ever seen. I don't know if you know this film or not. Huge cult classic. It's a silent film about a vampire, and Peter Krasinski is the organist. He'll come back from Boston and he'll play all the music to this, and it's just a lot of fun. I think people have been surprised and they've really enjoyed themselves.
Was that a film that was actually produced in the early
1900s? I want to say 1929. I might be wrong about that. Yeah, it was. The Chaplin film that we presented on the 15th premiered in 1921. It was 100 years old. We've got a couple of lecture topics, which we had in our second season, but it never happened. So this is kind of our first time to give this a try. But we really wanted to do these National Geographic Live events because we wanted to seek ways to partner with other units on campus and to be able to bring not just the theater and music's interests to the McKnight Center, but also other elements on campus, other student groups and whatnot. So we've got Kobe Boykins coming. There's a program called Exploring Mars. He works for NASA and he's an engineer, and he'll be talking about Mars exploration, what's been happening with a lot of the rovers. This is a lecture, but it's accompanied by amazing visuals. It's kind of a multimedia type of experience, and he'll be talking a little bit about what maybe the future of the exploration of Mars looks like. And then next year we have Alicia. I've just gone blank on her last name. She's an archaeologist. She's actually in Tulsa, and she'll be talking about Greenwood. The theme is really about resilience, but she'll be talking about stories of resilience since the massacre of Black Wall Street in Tulsa's Greenwood district. And we're just really excited. We've already got partners lined up on campus to help us promote these with students, but we think that they're great presentations. We're really excited to have them and host them for the first time. And we are bringing back our family series, which we just started this past season. We really want, I'll say it this way. What I know is the way that you have an impact on people's lives through the arts is you try to give that to them when they're very young. And so having a family series has been very important to us. Working with the public schools has been very important to us. These are ticketed shows, but the prices are very, very affordable. I think child tickets are $5. So we price them so that you can bring the entire family. Grandparents attend these a lot of times. We've had a lot of fun with the shows that we've already presented. The first one is a kind of mad scientist type guy called Dr. Kaboom. And he has this kind of sequence of accelerating science experiments that he's doing on stage. And we think it'll be a lot of fun. And then we close out toward the end of the season with Dan Zanes, who is a Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter and specializes specifically in family entertainment. And Claudia Zanes is a jazz singer. That's his wife, and she'll be performing with him. And I think we have a video for this one as well. So we announced on Saturday, May 15th. One of the things that happened right before we announced, and this has been one of the challenges, is that one of our performing artists took an engagement in London. And so we lost an artist to London. And so we delayed the printing on our season brochure. And so if you're on our mailing list, you'll get a brochure in the mail. And the first round of brochures will go out next Monday. So we announced the 15th. We've had a lot of people contacting us, and we've just now getting the updated brochure out in the mailbox. And what we're doing is we're renewing current season ticket holders. So that's our first wave that we're doing. So if you are a current season ticket holder, you'll get a brochure in the mail, should be on Monday, and you have the first opportunity as a returning subscriber to renew your seats. That will go until mid June. I think the deadline for that is June 18th. Then we're going to open it up for new ticket buyers who want to buy season tickets. And when I say season tickets, that could be as few as 3 concerts, or it could be everything. You get to decide how many concerts you really want to buy. But what being a season ticket holder gives you is it gives you the best rate on prices, because when you buy in volume, you get a discount. So it can be as much as 15 or 20%, or as little as 5%, depending on how many concerts it is that you buy. Because you're a season ticket holder, then when it's time to renew the next year, you have the first shot at renewing. So it kind of puts you in the queue to be able to keep your seats year after year after year. The other thing is a lot of people are inquiring about Tim McGraw, and you can only buy Tim McGraw tickets if you're a season ticket holder. And of course, we're using that to incentivize people to renew their subscriptions, or potentially for new buyers to come in and be season ticket holders. So that information's going out early next week. If you're on our list, you're going to get a brochure from us. If you're not on our list, but you're interested in learning more, you can go to our website, which is McKnightCenter.org, and there's a place where you can submit your information. If you've got a business card, as somebody here has already done, and you want to give it to me, I'll make sure that you're put in the system, and we can do it that way. If you have questions, you can always call our box office, which is 744-9999, and the box office is open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tim McGraw is an add-on performance, and the chamber music onstage soiree, that onstage dinner concert that I mentioned, is an add-on as well. But generally speaking, everything else is part of a package, and we try to give everybody as much flexibility as possible. There is a way for you to cherry pick and actually just build your own package. So if you just pick and say, I want to come to these 4 things, we can put a package together, and you're still considered a season ticket holder, and you're still going to get a discount because you're buying multiple performances at one time. So what kinds of questions can I answer? Yes, sir, Scott.
So were you able to leverage the the 22-year ago lost performance of Faith Hill when you negotiated?
No, just all about money at this point. And
It's not a factor.
no, we made, it's hearsay, but there's rumors that she's not going to perform anymore. But we made a special invitation for her to come be a part of our grand reopening. We don't know if she's going to attend or not, but we were very pleased that we were able to get him. So maybe she'll show up. What else? Yes, sir.
So if I were to get, you and I were to get McKnight Master all the shows, but then we couldn't make it to say 5 or 6, is there a way where we can donate the tickets?
That's a great question. Yeah, if you buy tickets and you're not able to attend a show or those tickets to a friend, you can donate tickets back to us, and then you would get the tax benefit from that. And at the end of the year, you'll get a tax letter from the OSU Foundation that says you donated the value of X number of tickets. Yeah. He would like to use your extra tickets, Glenn. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
There's a few performers on the schedule that have previously been here before, and I'm wondering how easy or difficult it was to get people to come back. What is people's impression of it to come back?
How we talk a lot about, how we treat our customers and what kind of experience we want them to have, from what does that mean from start to finish, from the time you call our box office or you visit our website until you leave the parking lot. The same holds true for how we treat our artists and how we take care of them. People have had a really good experience at the McKnight Center. For people who have been here, I think there's a good opportunity. We're setting ourselves up for the opportunity to bring them back. Slowly, people are starting to know who we are. That just takes some time. I will tell you that the performing world is very, very small. And so if you have a great artist who comes to visit the McKnight Center, spend time in Stillwater, spend time on campus, they'll take that information, and their next stop may be, in London or Paris, or they're going to go back to New York. And, people don't necessarily expect the McKnight Center to be here. So I think that they kind of carry that with them and they share that. And so we're starting to get to a point where agents are contacting us about the opportunity for the artists that they represent to come to the center. But it's a slow process. We definitely are working toward, really cultivating this so that we are seen as an arts and culture destination.
Previous to Tucson, where private development tend to come around these something like in the McKnight Center and restaurants and shops. I know you're kind of locked in. Any talk on that?
I mean, you're correct, and I've talked about it a little bit previously. It's one thing to have great programming, and of course, we want to draw people from other markets. We want people regularly from Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and from Dallas and Wichita and wherever. But if you look at the data and you look at the research about what motivates someone, what's the for, I'm going to go to another community and have a great arts experience. The actual programming is not at the top of the list. The very first item is high quality dining experience. And then, Hideaway is right. I got to tell you, the principal cellist from the New York Philharmonic, we took him for cheese fries and a beer, and he carried his $2 million cello to Hideaway, and it sat in the booth with us. So, but that's the very top of the list. Things like green space, waterfront, historic experiences, athletic opportunities, programming somewhere down in the bottom third. So, it's really to bring people to this community. to have those experiences, it's about the total experience. It's about everything wrapped together. The programming itself won't do it alone. And so we hope that over time, we'll have more of those types of amenities that'll, complement the concert experience. But it's a slow process, obviously. The other challenge is that we don't do 100 concerts a year. We have 17 performances. So from a developer standpoint, how much consistent business does that really drive to your particular business? And that's one of the big question marks at this point. But it's something that we want to see, because it's to the benefit of the community, and we hope that we can be a part of helping move that forward.
Will many of these performances be shown outside on the street?
We have a standard addendum that we attach to all of our artist contracts, and it requires the artist to consent to do the simulcast, which is outdoors. Some artists will strike it, and they have enough leverage that I can't really argue with them, but we put it in there as a standard thing. And so I would say 90% of them will be able to simulcast outside. So we have a plaza. If you haven't seen it, we have a green space adjacent to the center, and it has a 32-foot LED wall, and the whole green space, it's really wonderful. It's in surround sound. There's speakers that go all the way around the space. And so we in real time, we simulcast our indoor performances to the outdoor space. So we've got robotic cameras, and we send a signal outside, and people sit out on the lawn and watch performances for free. And we're not trying to monetize that. We just feel like that's a great way to engage with the community. People who maybe aren't arts patrons or don't understand what it is that we're doing, or they want to try something without having to make any kind of financial commitment. That's a great way for them to have that experience. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I attended some of those, but we didn't coordinate them. TS Fork was doing dinners at the Alumni Association across the street, concurrent with our performances. And I don't know if this alumni is planning to do that or not. But that was a nice thing for them to have put together.
Mark,
Yeah.
you mentioned people not understanding, so the plaza is a good place. So I've been fortunate enough to go to a few performances. I'm an uncultured son of a cotton farmer. So
It's not where I thought you were going, but
so I didn't have all of that. I didn't have all. But I may be off, but it seemed to me like there were times when the audience, we weren't sure whether to clap, whether it's a long pause. I think a little sign up front. Okay, to clap, please be quiet.
there's different takes on all of that. I think people should do what they feel led to do. And if people clap in the quiet moments, what it tells me is that there's new people there that are having a new experience. And I think that's a really good thing. Most artists these days totally get that. And so the kind of old school notion that, there's a really proper way to do things and there's a certain time to do it. I mean, some of that still lingers, but I think everybody's kind of gotten past that. So if you want to just take a solo, Gary, and clap in the middle of something, you can. Well, thanks so much for letting me come talk to you today. I appreciate it. We're really excited. I feel very fortunate to be at the McKnight Center. I grew up in Oklahoma City and, really fell in love with music. And after 20 years of being away, it was an incredible part of this whole thing. So we're excited to get it going again. And we hope that you guys will come out and see a show. So thank you.
All right, thank you for our presentation. We're all excited about the upcoming season. Thank you for being here with Frontier Rotary Support in your honor. Guests who are joining us today. And if there's nothing further, we'll adjourn with the four-way test led by Shane.